I visited the actual location of my favorite 100 famous views of Edo, painted by Hiroshige Ando, to see how the scene looks today. The Meguro Grandfather's Tea House in 084 is a view of Mount Fuji from the top of a steep hill slightly downhill from Meguro Mita-dori. In fact, please check the location on the map now, just about 1 kilometer south of JR Ebisu station. The red gradation represents Hiroshige's viewpoint. Let's cover this with a map of the time. The light blue line at the bottom is the Meguro River, and the light blue line at the top is the Mita Waterworks. Now, here is a map that shows the difference in elevation of the land. Although it is a little wide, I added a red gradation to Hiroshige's viewpoint. You can see that river terraces are formed along the Meguro River. If you zoom in a little more, you can see that the Meguro area is diagonally elevated between the Meguro River and the Shibuya River on a map with extreme height differences. In fact, the south side of the Meguro River here is a cliff, and it was an excellent location from which to view the southwestern direction from high ground. The Mita water supply runs along the cliffs, and the steep cliffs were all scenic spots with good views. Hiroshige left 3 views of Mt. Fuji. Here is an map street view from the sky around Ebisu Garden Place. I will also include the red gradient that is Hiroshige's viewpoint. The white tent that looms beyond Hiroshige's viewpoint is the Meguro incineration plant, which is currently under construction. The straight road running vertically is Shinsei-Azaka, where the Mita water supply ran from right to left at that time. Ebisu beer, which was brewed at the site of what is now Ebisu Garden Place, relied on the water rights of the Mita irrigation canal. However, until the very end, there was a dispute with neighboring farmers over water rights. The building with the long, narrow green roof on the right is a huge pool where the Naval Technical Research Institute used to study the condition of waves on warships and other vessels during the war. This area is now under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Defense. The Mita irrigation system continued to flow for more than 300 years until it was discontinued in 1974. The water was diverted from the Tamagawa Waterworks at Kitazawa, south of Sasazuka Station on the Ukiyo line, and was supplied to the Shirokane area via Oyama, Uehara, Aobade, and Mita. In the past, when Shinsei-Azaka was built, the waterway for the Mita water supply crossed over the hill and was crossed by a tunnel called Shinsei-Azaka Tunnel, but this was removed around 2001 for road widening. Let's take a closer look at Hiroshige's painting. Again, please take a look at the high-resolution first print. The first thing that appears is a pine tree planted on a hill, with Mount Fuji, and to the left, Mount Daisen. Under the red misty clouds, what appears to be a pine forest is depicted, which is probably in the Kamizawa area. On the left in the middle, the roof in green is Utenji Temple, and in the foreground, a horse with a load on its back is walking leisurely along a yellow-colored rice field path. The Meguro River in the foreground is hidden from view. The tea house on the right, where several Edo citizens are standing, who may have come to see Mount Fuji, is Meguro Grandfather's tea house. Hiroshige depicted this place in almost the same composition in his picture book Edo Souvenir. According to the commentary, the old couple entertained the shogun when he came for falconry, and the old man and his wife became the tea house. Falconry is a type of hunting in which tame hawks are released into the mountains and fields, rather than hunting hawks, for both military training and recreation. Tokugawa Ieyasu, the founder of the Edo shogunate, was famous for his fondness for falconry, and it seems that he considered it more than a mere falconry hobby, but a definite way of regimen and a way of life for warriors. Ieyasu had an entourage of falconry technicians, called falconry gumi, who were paid well as warriors. Thus, during the Edo period, successive Tokugawa shoguns favored falconry. 2 falconers are also depicted next to Mount Fuji in Katsushika Hakusei's Fugaku Sanjuroku, 36 Views of Mount Fuji, in Shimameguro. The third shogun, Iemitsu, in particular, is recorded to have conducted hundreds of falconry trips during his tenure as shogun. However, the 5th shogun Tsuneyoshi abolished falconry with his decree of mercy for all living creatures, and it was not until the Kaiaho period under the 8th shogun, Yoshimune, that falconry was revived. There was a tea house on the way uphill from Dindabashi Bridge on the Meguro River to the present Ebisu Garden Place area. The shogun often stopped by this tea house on his way home from falconry to rest. The shogun liked the simple personality of the tea house owner, a peasant named Hikashiro, and called him Grandpa, which is how the tea house came to be called Grandfather's Tea House. Since then, every time the shogun stopped by here, he gave Hikashiro a piece of silver. It is said that the shogun at this time may have been Iemitsu or Yoshimune. Chiazaka has always been a very lonely place, though it has always had a beautiful spring and trees, and during the chaos of the Meiji Restoration, the tea house was often robbed. The tea house was often robbed during the turmoil of the Meiji Restoration, so Grandfather's tea house was finally moved to the village of Sakashida, in the Shimamura family, a descendant of the tea house. There is a document recording that Yoshimune visited the tea house on April 13, 1738, during a falconry trip and exchanged words with the owner. There is also a document recording that the Shimamura family served 150 skewers of dumplings and 100 skewers of tofu dengaku when Iharu, the 10th shogun, visited the family. It is said that these anecdotes about the friendly shogun and Grandfather's tea house led to the birth of the famous Rakugo story Meguro no Sanma, the story of Meguro. The story goes that story is only available in Meguro. I actually went to this place. I gradually descended the tea house slope that still remains. Obviously, you cannot see the other side at all. Perhaps, if I climbed up to a tall building in this area, I could see Mount Fuji. I tried to fit the current picture into Hiroshige's painting, Fuji and Utenji, not to mention the fact that you cannot see the other side at all. There are about 17 places in present-day Tokyo called Fujimizuka, where, during the Edo period, one could see Mount Fuji. Most of these slopes are located on higher ground, and the one in Nishinapori 3-chon was the last Fujimizuka in Tokyo where pedestrians could actually see Mount Fuji. However, it has recently been overshadowed by condominiums, making it impossible to see Mount Fuji. On the contrary, Mount Fuji was a common sight from many places in the town of Edo. Now, however, it is not visible except to residents of high-rise condominiums or houses on high ground open to the southwest. Fuji could be seen from anywhere on the north side of the Meguro River, from Mita to Aobade, which used to be a famous spot with few houses in the Edo suburbs. Today, it has been completely developed and there is not a shadow of Fuji to be seen. Fuji from Tokyo has become a privilege only for the rich. Lastly, I would like to insert a picture of beautiful Mount Fuji as seen from Tachikawa, west of Tokyo, on the morning of January 3, 2023.